So you know that age-old statement of it doesn't matter if so-and-so ends up getting insert really good college prospect quarterback because they just don't have a good team. I want to see if that's actually true. Today we're going to be looking at how much a true franchise quarterback changes a roster and see how important they are. Of course, we're going to start out with that roster. I went with 70 overalls across the board on offense, except for a 68 overall left guard. It is what it is. And Patrick Mahomes. Now, there's a franchise quarterback, and then there's a Patrick Mahomes, right? He's a super generational challenge to get a player like him, and you're probably not going to land someone like him, but in general, this is where we're going to be testing. And on the other side, we're going to have Zach Wilson be the starting quarterback, who is, not like some terrible bum quarterback, but, he's a 70 overall, all right, with a bunch of really good players around him. And, of course, the base Dolphins defense. I just want to see what would happen if we tried this scenario out and see if Mahomes on his own can make a comparable or competitive one out of this challenge. And if there's any other type of, videos you'd like to see, like, running back versus O-line type of things, and let me know, because obviously I can't think of everything. I try, and, even though I have infinite wisdom, I miss out on some things here and there. I wanted to do a top trades video, but like I kind of alluded to in the speed rebuild we recently did, maybe check it out, it's really hard to trade for players this year, it seems. Like, unless you change the trade difficulty, which I don't want to do because most people probably don't, it's actually really hard to trade for people. And as you can see, we do go 6-11. That's not very good. Patrick Mahomes, the numbers, 4,400 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Zamir White, not great. Mahomes, though, with a lot of rushing yards, he really was trying to do it all. Did come up with some decent receiving numbers, despite the fact that these guys are on the lower end. Bellinger was probably the best. Bellinger was probably the best tight end in the league. Maybe not touchdowns, but yards. 1,200 yards is a lot for a tight end. Darius Davis at 1,100 with 6 touchdowns. 988 for Thornton with 7 touchdowns, and then Shakir with 803 touchdowns, which is really good. Of course, O-line, I've seen worse, right? We've literally had rebuilds where we've had 90 overall tackles allowing 14 sacks. So the fact that our 70 overall offensive line gave up, pretty comparable numbers to really good offensive lines. It's pretty hilarious by EA, and of course the pass rush wasn't great, kicking wasn't great. I have a good feeling that the other team may do a little bit better. Just maybe a little bit better. Did Mahomes even get on the list? Probably not, right? He was number 8? Was this like the weakest league in that? Like, I swear, every time we have a chance at MVP, we're like number 3 or 4 with like a 40 touchdown, 10 interception season. Yet 25 touchdowns, was it 25 or 24, and 8 interceptions is 8th on the list? Really? He did have rushing yards, that's probably why. 8 for best QB in the AFC, but then again, the NFC doesn't have that many great quarterbacks, so kind of makes sense. I guess we'll take a look at who wins the Super Bowl, but it'd be very shocking at this rate because of how low the bar was set if that Zach Wilson team with all those really good players doesn't outperform this team. 6-11 is a low bar to try and go over, which, I expected. Colts ending up making the Super Bowl, though, losing to the Falcons, but making it is still pretty impressive. All right, and then the other side of this thing now, the squad. This is the squad. The offensive line is really good. I debated on making the offensive line solid on the other team. Maybe I'd actually still go ahead and do that real quick. Just because the offensive line does play a pretty good factor. I feel like Mahomes without a good line and without good receivers, I don't think anyone could deal with that. But if Mahomes had a little bit of time to throw, I would say, just in general, a lot of quarterbacks could make use of NFL wide receiving talent. But an offensive line definitely plays a huge factor. So depending on how strong Zach Wilson is in this season, if he's really good, I might have to redo this real quick. One more sim with Mahomes and a line, but no receivers or running back. But obviously you have Justin Jefferson, you have McCaffrey, you have Tyreek Hill, you have Devontae Adams, you have the best linemen at every position, and then you have Travis Kelce and Kittle. So you have quite the talent on offense. And kind of as expected, 10-7 for this improved Miami team. As you can see here, Zach Wilson had a very good year. The same exact offensive and defensive schemes as well. 4,700 yards, 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey was actually a little iffy, I will admit. And then the receivers, you can almost argue the Mahomes-led team balanced the ball out more. And yes, I know Devontae's wearing 84. I literally changed someone who was wearing number 18 or 17, and I forgot to change his number. Whoops, my bad. But yeah, I mean, you could argue that the offense was more hard to predict, I guess, even though the team is just so good. We didn't actually see the kicking. That could have played a little bit of a factor, I suppose. Yeah, Sanders only missing 1 field goal here, whereas the other Sanders missed 6. I think we will have to go and look. Like, you see what I'm saying, though? You can't tell me that this Zach Wilson season wasn't better than Mahomes' season, yet he's lower. I get it. It could be the other players that, did better, and that's why, but I don't know, dude. That's still just a little weird. But yeah, we're going to have to go and do a third sim and test Mahomes with an offensive line. I don't know how much of a difference it'll make, but I suppose that kind of knocks another thing off the list as we lose the very first game we had to the Jaguars. Does offensive line matter that much? We'll see. If Mahomes plays way better, then I guess the answer is yes. We'll take a look at who wins the Super Bowl as well. A little bit. Yeah, I mean, the Saints, they've always exceeded expectations, but I don't know if I would say that they're more expected to make the Super Bowl than any other team, or unexpected. But they do win the Super Bowl here, so it is what it is. All right, we have the team, the same exact team, but with the offensive line added on. We're going to see if there's much of a difference or if it's just so massive that they maybe even get further than the other team. Obviously, it's still a massive drop-off as you have no receiving talent or running back talent, comparable words, to the other squad. Of course, like I said, if you guys enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I really do appreciate your continued support. But yeah, Texans franchise should resume on either Friday or probably more likely on Saturday. A little bit of a wait in between, but I suppose the slow build-up adds to the series a little bit. And yeah, should be a rebuild tomorrow, Bears franchise Friday, and then 3 videos on Saturday. So a lot of stuff going on. More towards the end of the week, which, I don't know, I like it. And the team goes 8-9, which, I mean, it is better. But as you can see, those receiving options, the running back options, still matter just that much. Zamir White with 1,000 yards, but 3 yards per carry is hell. That is so bad. Offensive line, I mean, Trent Williams allowed 9 sacks. I mean, over the last, several seasons, he even allowed 9 combined, let alone one season. I don't even know. But, yeah, it doesn't seem like the offensive line really paid off or changed much at all. And once again, the no receiver running back team just can't kick the football. This time, it may have actually played that much of a factor and lost us a playoff spot because, I mean, that's a lot of points to be losing. 6 potential 3 field goals. It's 18 points. You have a couple of 1-score games. Those could be losses, right? Let's actually take a look and see if there was any in there. There might have been. Like that one. I don't know if he would have missed the field goal in this, but could have won the game, perhaps. And he did. So it would have at least been tied, but it couldn't be tied because he freaking missed. Then we have another one, which he did not. It was actually the other team that missed. And then where was the next one? The Patriots. Could have lost to the Patriots because of a field goal, which we did not, but fair enough. That one was still enough. 9-8 is potentially playoff worthy. And then we have 2 more games here where a field goal would have won the game. And did not miss it on that one. But what about that final game? That would be 2 games, potentially, that could have been won if field goals were hit. Let's see it. And not going to be the case. So it was only one, but that one could have made the difference. I'll take a look to see if it actually did. Normally I don't really care, but you know, I added all those extra players to do one more season. I want to know if field goal kicking was the bigger problem rather than talent. And yeah, I mean, there's two teams here. Looking at the divisions, the Jaguars. Yeah, there's two teams here that are 9-8 that made the wild card round. Jason Sanders might have legit lost us the spot. He very well could have. The Jaguars are 3-3 as well. I don't know if we played. No, I think, did we lose to them? I don't even know. But I don't know if we played them directly, but we would have had a better division record. I think it was against a division team first week, right? But either way, that's going to be it. As we can see, the surrounding talent makes a big difference. I definitely thought the surrounding talent with Zach Wilson was going to do better out the gate against a no offensive line Mahomes, but I definitely thought Mahomes with an offensive line was going to make the playoffs, and they didn't. Not that 10-7 team that the Zach Wilson had was amazing, but Zach Wilson did play pretty well, and I guess it is proof that it's more important to develop the team around a quarterback than it is to just get a franchise quarterback with no talent around them. So, I mean, it's at least in Madden, obviously. In real life, it's all over the place, right? Like, freaking CJ Stroud is, like, kind of breaking that mold. Not that they don't have any talent around him, but it's definitely not a team that you're like, oh, they have top 10 receivers. They have a top 5 running back. It's like, nah, top 10 O-line. Not really. Not really, right? So, I don't know. But in Madden, that quarterback is important, but the other players are more important. So, do what you can to build up your roster any way you can. Don't just be only focused on that quarterback spot. But anyways, like I said, if you have any suggestions for kind of another similar type video to this, let me know in the comment section below. I'm always looking for suggestions, and you guys have given me some decent ones. I'll probably start writing them down and potentially implementing them. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya.